I think that was my dream from ever. As soon as I was able to pick up a crayon or a pencil, I was just always drawing. And so I kind of always knew I would do something related to art. I didn't know what graphic design was until kind of later, but I knew I wanted to do something creative with art.
You are listening to Vector Maestros.
This is DTM with Vector Maestros Episode 6 and the Vector Maestros interview with Chris Jones. Our goal is to encourage everyone to explore their creativity and master the pen tool. We're proudly supported by Microsoft Surface, MICAtlanta, ArtistKing.org, and AzaleaCreativeGroup.com. Please follow the work of Chris Jones on social medias and links found in the description of this podcast. Now on to our Vector Maestros interview with Chris Jones.
My name is Chris Jones, and I'm originally from Bolivar, Tennessee.
Bolivar. Is that a real place, a city, a town?
It's a small town outside of Memphis.
Okay. All right. And how long you been in ATL?
This will be my 4th year in Atlanta.
Nice. How do you like it so far?
I love it.
Yeah. But you keep going home all the time and visit and so on, right?
I go to visit family, pretty much, but I get there around holidays. But for the most part, I like staying here.
All right. And what type of art did you do growing up, and what were some of the artists that inspired you?
Growing up, I was very much into cartoons and comic books. I remember picking up X-Men, the Jim Lee era, a lot of the Image comic book artists, Joe Madeira, to J. Scott Campbell were a few that I kind of emulated when I was trying to develop my own drawing style. And when I got more so into high school, I started doing more drawing from life.
So when you had all these comics and you were going through them, and you say you were trying to emulate this style and grow into yours, were you planning on being a full-time artist? Is that something that you wished as growing up, or?
I think that was my dream from ever. As soon as I was able to pick up a crayon or a pencil, I was just always drawing. And so I kind of always knew I would do something related to art. I didn't know what graphic design was until kind of later, but I knew I wanted to do something creative
with art. Okay, cool. And when you did develop your art style, do you remember when that was and how it came to you?
I would say probably around high school, I was taking more of the advanced art classes. We did some experimentation with charcoal and Conte, and I really liked how you were able to kind of push the darks and the lights. I really like to get very hands-on with my artwork. And I'd say around there is probably more indicative of the style that I have now. Also, I really like to draw eyes for some reason. So
that was it, huh? And after that was it.
And it's really still developing.
Okay. All right. So there's more. There will be more.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. And when did you hear about Illustrator? Did someone tell you about it? How did that come about?
I knew about Illustrator probably toward the end of my high school years, but I went to college at the University of Tennessee, and my major was graphic design, and so we had to purchase the Adobe Creative Suite to get our work done. But we didn't really have any classes to actually teach us Illustrator, and so it was kind of like we were given the assignment, and you've got to go and learn this program and figure out how to use the pen tools in order to make whatever you need to make to go on the page.
So you were just thrown out there.
They just kind of threw us
figure it out, and then turn in some work.
Right.
That's crazy. Do you remember your first illustration?
I don't remember my first illustration. A lot of the earlier assignments was a lot of dots and lines, very simple things. But we still had to get those printed out. And then as we got through the beginning classes, we did a few more advanced things. One of them, I remember we had an assignment where we had to illustrate a song. and the song I picked, it was The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
And it was kind of different panels to kind of give the viewer a sense of the different highs and lows in the song and kind of what she was talking about. And that was probably the first assignment where I used Illustrator heavily.
Did you like it? Did you like Illustrator when you tried it and figured it out?
I liked it, but not having anyone to really show me how to use it, I think I probably would have been better had I had a tablet, a pen to kind of get real control over the pen tool at the time. So I was using a mouse and the
Touchpad.
touchpad. And so it was a little challenging.
Right.
I think it's kind of cool that I can do it, but knowing that you have so much more flexibility with the pen tool, I would have preferred to have had that when I started.
Right. So you have a tablet now? Do you use a tablet?
Yeah, I have a Wacom bamboo tablet.
Okay.
And I've been using that for about 3 or 4 years, and it's served me pretty well.
Nice. And the learning curve, so the part of it is the equipment that you had, and then what was the learning curve for you on Illustrator? Did you pick it up and it made sense to you, or was it difficult thinking of art as in paths and shapes?
I think the basic was somewhat simple, but it's not exactly like Photoshop. You have to kind of actually know what the tools do, especially with using the pen tool. I believe when I first started it, I was kind of clicking through and wasn't really taking the time to get control over the pen tool. I think once you master it, you kind of understand how the path is going to feel, and you don't have to worry about lines crisscrossing. So I think I had to kind of learn patience and kind of slow down.
Yes, a lot of patience and practice.
Right.
Yes. So what is your creative process like now? Do you start with paper and then move into Illustrator, or do you start digital? Because you have a tablet, so you could technically draw on Illustrator or Photoshop and then bring it into Illustrator. So what's your workflow like?
Right now, I still draw everything on paper. Do a lot of sketches first, and then I will kind of go through my sketches and pick the best one that I want to use, and I'll take some tracing paper and I'll go back and try to refine the lines a bit more. And once I'm satisfied with that, I might add some ink to it, and then I scan it. I use an app on my phone, a tiny scanner, and I take that into Illustrator, and then I start to do my lines.
So you clean as much as you can in traditional media first,
right?
And then that makes your process easier in Illustrator to just trace out, or you not want to think about it when you're in Illustrator,
right? Because sometimes I found if I have some kind of straight lines or too much detail, I might get into the program and wonder, what was that? What was I trying to do?
Yeah.
And so I think it's easier just to kind of make it as basic as possible, as clean as possible.
Got it. That makes sense. That's cool. So you mentioned the tablet and the Wacom tablet. Which one is it that you have? The bamboo?
I have the bamboo.
Because there's like a couple, the Create and the something. The bigger one, the smaller one.
Mine is only about the size of this little small notebook.
Okay, all right. And you like it? You
I
enjoy
do.
it?
It's very portable, and I have a MacBook Air, and so everything is pretty easy to carry around.
So you carry a whole workstation right there with you in your bag.
Right.
It's right there in your bag. Okay. And have you tried any other vector software?
Right now, it's just been Illustrator. I've seen some of the things that you do in some of the videos that you posted.
Okay.
So I'm interested to learn more, but right now I've just been sticking to Illustrator.
Yeah. It's been around for a long time. Yeah, it's very, very resourceful. And do you keep up with, besides my videos, do you keep up with other Illustrator resources or tutorials online? And where do you go?
There's been a few. I think it's Creative Live or Skillshare. I watched some of those videos. There was one, I believe it was on Skillshare, and there's this designer named Aaron Draplin, and he does some really great logo designs. I like following his work, and his stuff is very simple and clean, and I like kind of how his workflow is. He makes it look so simple, so it's kind of one of the people I admire and want to get to that level.
Awesome. Any tutorials that you read up on or blogs? Just videos?
Pretty much just videos right now.
Okay. Yeah. I follow a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. On Flipboard.
On Flipboard. Oh,
yeah, man.
You have a lot of good resources on Flipboard.
Oh, yeah. Because you don't have to go digging around online and the internet all over different websites.
Right.
They're all in one place. Let's see. What kind of art do you create for your personal satisfaction in Illustrator?
What kind of art do I create for my personal satisfaction in Illustrator? Probably, well, I did my own logo in Illustrator. And I was trying to toy around with, I still want to animate it. I still haven't done that yet. But that was probably the most, I did that. And then I also did kind of a copy of my face. I took a picture of myself and I used different layers to kind of build up the layers. I want to do more stuff like that. Yeah.
Just for fun. Just to experiment and see what happens.
Right.
Yeah. Because I don't want to just pick up Illustrator when it's the job or the client work. Because then that feels like always work. I want to have fun. That's how I feel.
Yeah,
you got to do something.
More of that.
Yeah, man. Of course. So where can we find you online?
You can find me online at C Jones Work. That's SEEJonesWork.com or CJonesCreative.com. Also have a Behance site, behance.net/CJonesWork. And C Jones Creative on Instagram.
Sweet. So you go between C Jones Work and C Jones Creative. Awesome.
Right now.
Yeah. Till you change your name.
Right.
Sweet. And last question. That's it. I promise. Any advice to up and coming illustrators who are using Adobe Illustrator to start off?
I would say definitely if you can get your hands on a tutorial, walk through it, do a lot of experimentation. I think once you master the pen tool, everything else will kind of flow from that. And you can start to look at different brushes, but really getting a grasp of the pen tool and knowing that the power that it has, I think is probably the biggest key to Illustrator.
This was your Vector Maestros podcast. Tune in to YouTube for free tutorials and tips on Adobe Illustrator. Follow us on Facebook and check out the Vector Maestros online course to master the pen tool at vectormaestros.com. Until next time, this is DTM at vectormaestros.com.